So right here in this pile of PC parts, we have an under $600 PC build. This one actually costing closer to $560, so just so you know, this could be even cheaper. If you were to copy this exact build right now, it will cost you closer to $600, as good prices are pretty hard to get right now. But I'll be explaining everything and building this entire computer, benchmarking it, everything you really want to know in this video. So let's get to building it. So technically, to start us off, we have the B550M Pro 4 from ASRock. Now this is a board I got from Newegg open box, which you've heard me say a million times on this channel. 2 M.2 screws, that's a bonus. Anyway, it still comes with everything, as you can see, and there's a chance that this motherboard was never even opened. Now, we're going to be placing that motherboard on top of the box. And now for our CPU. We have the Ryzen 5 5600, which is honestly just the best CPU that you can get around this price point. This CPU works at price points from pretty much $500 to like $700. You know what? Just a little latch, open that. Easy, slide in, and then just a little bit of force to actually lock it in. 6 cores, 12 threads. I mean, this CPU has been featured so many times on everyone's channel, I feel like. So if you want to find out specifics on it, then you can watch those. But this is honestly just a great pairing, especially with our GPU, which you'll see soon. But first, I'm going to go ahead and remove this M.2 armor, which is literally what they call it. And we're gonna be placing in our Crucial P3 Plus, which I did get from AliExpress. Don't worry, it is legit. It was under $50 post-tax, and that's honestly just amazing considering Amazon is getting pretty expensive now. Remove the plastic, then we're just gonna line it up. Now we have 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. I bought like 5 or 6 of these a long time ago on a really good Newegg deal, but you can regularly find DDR4 32 gigabytes at about $50 normally, so that's only $15 more than what I paid. And by the way, this is 3200 mega transfers. Now we're gonna take the second and fourth slot and then just carefully line it up, make sure it is lined up, and then you can apply some force. Now, the motherboard is almost done actually. But here's when things get a little interesting and I guess different for you probably. Now this is an ARGB cooler, and as you probably saw from the thumbnail, we are not using ARGB. But don't worry, ARGB can still be followed on this guide. I just will not go through the exact installation of the RGB connection, but it's not too hard. But if you want to, we have some RGB ports on the motherboard right here and here. Now first, before we do anything, we gotta remove this bracket that comes with the motherboard. All right, now we can take this bag full of the red standoffs and place them correspondingly. Now for these little brackets, I like to just put the screw in first. And take another one. And screw it in. And then again on the other side. Now the thermal paste that comes with this cooler is kind of weak. There's not a whole lot in here, so I'll try to get all of it out. Now I'd say the amount is like just barely enough, so honestly you'll be fine with it. Now we're gonna take the actual heatsink and remove this warning sticker. And don't worry, the thermal paste will be spread evenly when you apply pressure. Now just line it up. Might take a little bit, but you can just kind of slowly get both of them screwed in and then go in with the screwdriver. All right, something I just realized is we have a busted heatsink. I guess I'm gonna have to grab a different one. All right, well, I'm gonna use the thermal paste from the other one. Now this is where it's different, as I'm adding a basic fan to this. And the reason why is to keep the actual aesthetic of just no RGB. So I would just recommend buying a cooler that doesn't have RGB, but it still works, it's just a fan. I'm actually able to wrap the entire cord, and look at that, no cable, except it's I plugged it into CPU fan port. We're pretty much done now with the motherboard, so that's great. Now right here is what I'm most excited for. This is the Cypress 3 from Okinos. There's an ARGB version, just in case you're wondering, but this is the basic wood version. It's only like $50 right now, so that's actually amazing. So we're about to check out this price performance, as this does have 4 included fans as well. Already looking nice. Now here we have it. Nice little wood accents with an all black finish. Honestly, I'm so glad that they came out with this case. Now I will say Okinos did send me this case. So maybe I am a little biased, but honestly for this price, how can I be? It's honestly amazing value. Now, what you wanna do when you have your case is actually go to the back panel. Here we take out our little screw box, and honestly just prepare it for installing the motherboard now. First, we're going to take out this IO shield, and then face like this, kind of snap it right there. Before we install our motherboard, we actually have to adjust these standoffs so that it matches our exact motherboard. Now this little tool, I guess, that comes with the screws is actually meant to screw in these standoffs, but I'm sure you could find another way if you need to. Now, let's get our motherboard. Our motherboard lines up with everything, and now all we have to do is just use some screws like these ones. And there we go. Motherboard all screwed in. Now, all we have to do is just connect everything, and we're getting close. Now, I'm gonna take all of the cables that plug into the motherboard from the case. First up being the USB 3.0, which is actually all in black. Goes in right to the side, right next to the power for the motherboard. You can take away pretty nicely. Next up is our HD audio. This one's always in the bottom left. Now the F panel, which I'll show a little image of how this is supposed to be connected. Now, one bonus for this case, but one downside for this motherboard is USB-C is actually right here on the case, and our motherboard doesn't support it. So if you have a higher end motherboard, it probably does, and you can probably plug it in right around here. Now we have everything plugged in. Go to the back of the case. I'm actually gonna remove this hard drive tray because it's gonna be in the way of the power supply. There's not a whole lot of room here. Whoa, where did it go? Oh, it's right here. And here we have the all-powerful Segatep Gold 650 watt power supply. I buy this one for pretty much every computer, not gonna lie. In case you're wondering, this is a tier C unit, 650 watts, tier C, perfect, $50 all day, Amazon, I love it. All right, so what we're gonna do is fan down, output out, outlet I mean, slide right through here, and then with the little fatter screws we got, and go ahead, screw it in. Now yes, we have a whole bunch of these cables that we don't really want, so cable managing is going to be a little tough here, but that's what you're going to get with the mini tower. All right, now we're going to take the big cable here and then just route it around. We're going to take the PCIe and just route it through the bottom, and then we take a CPU. It goes in top right. And then the rest of these cables are pretty much useless. So for now, we're just gonna stuff all of this in the case like this. Go around the other side and just plug in everything we routed already. Power to the motherboard goes in right here. And the power to the CPU goes in the top left. I'm actually gonna flip it right back again. So all these fans are already daisy chained and the connection leads right here. I'm actually going to take this cord and plug it in on the other side. Now for this fan right here, we can actually use another port on our motherboard because we have so many of them. I'm gonna turn on the lights for this one. Now, the last thing to do is plug in the graphics card. Right here we have the 3060 Ti from PNY, and no, this is not brand new, as I do not recommend brand new at this price. It doesn't matter which card you get, and depending on your budget, you could probably get anywhere from a 3060 to a 3070, and here, this is right in the middle. The annoying thing you have to do first actually is just remove these brackets, pop them out, give them a little wiggle. After you actually pop this little bracket back, we could slide in the graphics card. Boom. You will need to screw it in though. Now, all it's left to do is plug in PCIe. Now, was this all for nothing? Let's find out. It boots. Now, the message it says is press Y to reset FTPM. Interesting. All right, everything seems to be working. W, but wait! Before I show you the gaming benchmarks, you are not subscribed. So subscribe. Okay, so the first test we're doing is 1440p NVIDIA DLSS quality super resolution mode, and then everything is on the medium graphics quality preset. Bro, stop healing them, man. Not fair, bro. Alright, so we're getting at least 100 FPS here. These things are actually kind of high, believe it or not. I'm gonna turn them down right now. We're still gonna keep this quality, but we're gonna bring it to low, which honestly doesn't feel like it does much. Alright, so it's a little bit better. We're like consistently around 120. I mean, it's really not that much different. I'll switch this to balanced. All right, so this is where FPS really goes back up. Boost it up to 150. Right now there's a lot going on, so it's probably gonna be low, but all right, I'm gonna try 1080p. 1080p definitely feels pretty good already. Looks like it's our extra 20 FPS again. Right here is honestly just a laggier spot, so it's not really that good, but definitely playable. 1080p, 1440p doesn't really matter actually, but I recommend lower settings. So, all right, so on Cyberpunk at a ray tracing low preset, we have 66 FPS. Now with the high preset, no ray tracing, we got about 92 FPS on average, which is more of what I would play on. Cyberpunk isn't really meant for more budget PCs. You're gonna wanna spend a good amount of money for this to run, but still pretty playable. And with the same settings at 1080p now, we have 116 FPS. So definitely even more playable and even at high settings. All right, we got Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and we're running 1440p balanced preset, let's do DLSS. And we're running a little over 110 FPS. Quality is pretty high. Call of Duty is one of those games where you have to kind of mess around with your settings to get like the perfect amount. Even at 1080p, the frames don't really change. So honestly, you're just kind of around that 110 to 120 FPS pretty much, even with some decent settings. So definitely very playable. You would have to mess around a lot depending if you get the exact computer or not. Oh shoot. See ya, bud. Got 50 degrees Celsius on the CPU, 58 on the GPU, which is honestly exactly what I want to see here. Let's get this fella over here. Bop, bop. Bop. Easy dubs, easy dubs. Is he seriously hiding in a bush right now, dude? What? What rank is this? My goodness, bro. Playing Copper 1 right now, dude. Shoot. Oh my gosh, my shotgun would shoot. Dang it. All right, so we're sitting like 230 on average, pretty much. Obviously, it depends where you're going. Depends if you're gliding. Depends on a lot of things. But yeah, it looks like Fortnite's running pretty good. We are on performance mode, 1440p. Right now, we are getting below 200, but there's a lot of things rendering, I think. So, I don't know. This is obviously all you need. Definitely, if you're running 180 hertz or more, you're going to be experiencing pretty much just solid gameplay. Nothing really is going to go below it. It will dip down here and there, I'm sure, but that's just, you know, Fortnite. It's not always the same FPS. You're going to experience some laggy points, but promise you, I've not played this game in so long, dude. I don't play Fortnite, bro. What? Yeah, this is a problem. I don't have any audio, but as you can see, Fortnite ran pretty good. Definitely recommend it. This is performance mode, but that's the only mode I recommend anyway. DX12, DX11, more input delay, and also can be less frames. So definitely recommend this PC for you if you're willing to play Fortnite.